Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to another exciting week of learning. Today, we're going to start right off the bat with some figurative language. So your essential question for this lesson is, what is an idiom? So I want you to think about this. What is an idiom? Kiddos, in my class, we actually had a whole day on idioms where we dressed up like our favorite idiom. Think back to one of the times that we dressed up in class, and that should help you. So, an idiom is a word or phrase that means something different from its literal meaning. So, literal means exactly what it says. So, if I said, I'm holding an apple, that is a literal meaning. Can't say anything else other than I have this apple in my hand and I'm holding it. It's exactly what it means. Idioms are much different than that. One of my favorite ones that my kiddos did was they glued a bag of chips on their shoulder, and it said, you don't have a chip on your shoulder, that means don't hold a grudge. And there was lots of other ones. So we're going to watch a quick video about idioms together.
Hi, welcome to my channel. First off, join the notification squad. Turn on your post notification and leave me a comment below with the hashtag notification squad to be featured in my next video. Shout out to this week's notification squad. Today I will be sharing with you 10 common idioms. What is an idiom? An idiom is a phrase or an expression that has a different meaning from the literal meaning. Let's learn some idioms. Let the cat out of the bag. It means to tell a secret. An example of it is, I was trying to keep the party a secret, but someone went and let the cat out of the bag. Pitch in. It means to join in or help. An example of one is, if we all pitch in, the cleanup shouldn't take long. Once in a blue moon. It means rarely. An example of one is, once in a blue moon she'd call, but for months at a time we heard nothing. Straight from the horse's mouth. It means directly from the person involved. An example of one is, I know it's true because I got it straight from the horse's mouth. Leah told me herself. Up a creek without a paddle. It means in a bad or unlucky situation. An example of it is, if we don't get this project done today, we're going to be up a creek without a paddle. Give it a whirl. It means to try something. An example is, try, let's give it a whirl. Under the weather. It means feeling sick. An example is, I was under the weather last week, but I am feeling much better now. Go the extra mile. It means make an extra effort. An example of it is, they're really helpful. They always go the extra mile to help us. Hit the hay. It means go to bed. An example of it is, I have to get up early for school tomorrow, so I think I'd better hit the hay. Keep your chin up. It means stay strong. An example of it is, keep your chin up, we're not lost yet. Which idiom do you use the most? Comment below and let me know.
Great job, boys and girls. So that is some examples, 10 actually, of idioms. When you were listening to those idioms, you could have used the context clues, the words around it, to try to figure out some of the idioms. But sometimes that's difficult to do. So here's a hint. If you look for the main word in the idiom or the main word in the expression of the idiom and look that word up in the dictionary, a lot of the times you will find an idiom as an example in the dictionary. Fun fact. So let's hop in here and read the definition again. An idiom is an expression that has a meaning apart from meanings of its individual words. That's a context clue. Sometimes are a little tricky for us to figure out. Let's look at this example. Kaya was so nervous that her stomach was in knots. Well, we can look at the word stomach here, and that's going to help us. What the idiom stomach and knots means is that she was nervous, and her stomach actually wasn't in a knot. If you go here, this is an example of a stomach. Her stomach did not have a knot in it. That's not what was happening. What was happening is she was nervous and she was getting an upset or sick-like belly, okay? Sometimes you might say, I have butterflies in my stomach, and that's sort of a similar idiom to her stomach was in knots. So we have a couple more examples here for you. This one was in your video. It says, under the weather. It does not mean you are walking under a cloud. It means that you're feeling sick. And the sentence says, Megan is feeling under the weather. If you look down here, the next one, it says, eat your words. Well, you're not really eating your words. That would be super silly. The meaning of it is that you accept that you said something wrong. So let's look at the sentence. I think you will be eating your words when I prove you wrong. Feeling blue. You're not walking around being blue, are you? I hope not. It means you're feeling sad. Joey was feeling blue when his best friend moved away. That would make you feel blue. On top of the world. This man's sitting on top of the earth. Do you think that's true? No, it just means that you're feeling great. The sentence reads, when her hockey team won the championship, Rena was on top of the world. Think about when something really great has happened in your life. You probably felt on top of the world. Down to earth is our next one. It's not an alien coming down to earth. It means that it is a practical person or has a practical idea. Billy is a very down-to-earth person. It also could mean they're easy to talk to or easy to get along with. The next example is hanging out. Well, this is a man hanging on a clothesline. That's not what that means. Hanging out means getting to spend time with somebody. Boy, do I miss hanging out with you guys. Jess and I will be hanging out at the park after school. Your next example, taking a big step. It does not mean that you are making a huge giant jump like in gym class. It means that you're making a big chance. Let's listen to the sentence. Graduating from cooking school is a big step towards becoming a chef. Oh, I've seen lots of bakers in my class over this break. I bet you could become a chef one day. The last example on this slide is time flies. Well, do you see clocks flying around school or your house? I don't think so. So time flies actually means that time goes by quickly. An example is, time flies when I'm playing basketball in the park. And that's true. When you're playing a sport or having a lot of fun doing something, time usually does go by super duper fast. So these are just some more examples of idioms. So your assignment, boys and girls, is to read each sentence. The underlined words make up an idiom. The words do not mean exactly what they say. Find a phrase from the box. So right here that could replace the idiom. Remember, the idiom is the underlying word. Write that on the line. So whatever you think matches the meaning of the idiom, you're writing down on the line. Circle the words in the sentences that help you understand the idioms. So you're going to circle the context clues as well. So you have a couple things to do here. Let's recap. You are going to read the sentence. You are going to look in the word bank above right here, and you're going to pick which meaning you think matches the idiom. Then you are going to circle the words in the sentence that helped you figure out the meaning of the idiom. Now, boys and girls, if this seems too hard and too much for you to write, you can go ahead and code these. You could make be quiet a heart. You could make tried to do too big a job a star. You could do working as fast as we can a rectangle. You could do not as mean as he acts a squiggly line. Impossible to understand a sad face. Okay? So let's do number 3 together. Let's go in the middle this time. So the first task is to read the sentence. I don't understand these instructions. They are all Greek to me. Well, do you think the instructions up here are written in Greek? I don't think so. What could that mean? Could it mean that they are impossible to understand? That's what I would pick, boys and girls. So you would go ahead and write impossible to understand on this line. And then what I would circle, the context clue, understand would be what I would circle. That's the word that helps me to know what the meaning of this idiom Greek to me means. And it means it's impossible to understand. So you're going to do those and then take a picture of that and send it to your teacher. When you're done with that, you have the read aloud for today, and I'm going to play it for you.
Gloria, who might be my best friend. From the stories Julian tells, by Anne Cameron, selection illustrated by Mike Reed. If you have a girl for a friend, people find out and tease you. That's why I didn't want a girl for a friend. Not until this summer, when I met Gloria. It happened one afternoon when I was walking down the street by myself. My mother was visiting a friend of hers, and Huey was visiting a friend of his. Huey's friend is 5, and so I think he is too young to play with. And there aren't any kids just my age. I was walking down the street, feeling lonely. A block from our house, I saw a moving van in front of a brown house, and men were carrying in chairs and tables and bookcases and boxes full of I don't know what. I watched for a while, and suddenly I heard a voice right behind me. Who are you? I turned around, and there was a girl in a yellow dress. She looked the same age as me. She had curly hair that was braided into 2 pigtails with red ribbons at the ends. I'm Julian, I said. Who are you? I'm Gloria, she said. I come from Newport. Do you know where Newport is? I wasn't sure, but I didn't tell Gloria. It's a town on the ocean, I said. Right, Gloria said. Can you turn a cartwheel? She turned sideways herself and did 2 cartwheels on the grass. I had never tried a cartwheel before, but I tried to copy Gloria. My hands went down in the grass, my feet went up into the air, and I fell over. I looked at Gloria to see if she was laughing at me. If she was laughing at me, I was going to go home and forget about her. But she looked at me very seriously and said, It takes practice. And then I liked her. I know where there's a bird nest in your yard, I said. Really? Gloria said. There weren't any trees in the yard, or any birds where I lived before. I showed her where a robin lives and has eggs. Gloria stood up on a branch and looked in. The eggs were small and pale blue. The mother robin squawked at us, and she and the father robin flew around our heads. They want us to go away, Gloria said. She got down from the branch and we went around to the front of our house and watched the moving men carry 2 rugs and a mirror inside. Would you like to come over to my house? I said. All right, Gloria said, if it's all right with my mother. She ran into the house and asked. It was all right, so Gloria and I went to my house, and I showed her my room and my games and my rock collection, and then I made strawberry punch and we sat at the kitchen table and drank it. You have a red mustache on your mouth, Gloria said. You have a red mustache on your mouth too, I said. Gloria giggled, and we licked off the mustaches with our tongues. I wish you'd live here a long time, I told Gloria. Gloria said, I wish I would too. I know the best way to make wishes, Gloria said. What's that? I asked. First, you make a kite. Do you know how to make one? Yes, I said, I know how. I know how to make good kites because my father taught me. We make them out of 2 cross sticks and folded newspaper. All right, Gloria said. That's the first part of making wishes that come true. So let's make a kite. We went out into the garage and spread out sticks and newspaper and made a kite. I fastened on the kite string and went to the closet and got rags for the tail. Do you have some paper and 2 pencils? Gloria asked. Because now we make the wishes. I didn't know what she was planning, but I went in the house and got pencils and paper. All right, Gloria said. Every wish you want to have come true, you write on a long, thin piece of paper. You don't tell me your wishes, and I don't tell you mine. If you tell, your wishes don't come true. Also, if you look at the other person's wishes, your wishes don't come true. Gloria sat down on the garage floor and started writing her wishes. I wanted to see what they were, but I went to the other side of the garage and wrote my own wishes instead. I wrote, number 1, I wish I could see the catalog cats. Number 2, I wish the fig tree would be the tallest in town. Number 3, I wish I'd be a great soccer player. Number 4, I wish I could ride in an airplane. And number 5, I wish Gloria would stay here and be my best friend. I folded my 5 wishes in my fist and went over to Gloria. How many wishes did you make? Gloria asked. 5, I said. How many did you make? 2, Gloria said. I wondered what they were. Now we put the wishes on the tail of the kite, Gloria said. Every time we tie one piece of rag on the tail, we fasten a wish to the knot. You can put yours in first. I fastened mine in, and then Gloria fastened in hers, and we carried the kite into the yard. You hold the tail, I told Gloria, and I'll pull. We ran through the backyard with the kite, past the garden and the fig tree, and went into the open field beyond our yard. The kite started to rise. The tail jerked heavily like a long white snake. In a minute, the kite passed the roof of my house and was climbing towards the sun. Stood in the open field, looking up at it. I was wishing I would get my wishes. I know it's going to work, Gloria said. How do you know? When we take the kite down, Gloria told me, there shouldn't be one wish in the tail. When the wind takes all your wishes, that's when you know it's going to work. The kite stayed up for a long time. We both held the string. The kite looked like a tiny black spot in the sun, and my neck got stiff from looking at it. Shall we pull it in? I asked. All right, Gloria said. We drew the string in more and more until, like a tired bird, the kite fell at our feet. Looked at the tail. All our wishes were gone. Probably they were still flying higher and higher in the wind. Maybe I would see the catalog cats and get to be a good soccer player and have a ride in an airplane in the tallest fig tree in town. And Gloria would be my best friend. Gloria, I said, did you wish we would be friends? You're not supposed to ask me that, Gloria said. I'm sorry, I answered, but inside I was smiling. I guessed one thing Gloria wished for. I was pretty sure we would be friends.
All right, boys and girls, I am sure that you loved that story just as much as the first time you heard it. So there are a few optional activities for today. If you click this link here, it will take you to a review game that you can play right online. If you click this video right here, it's another fun way to learn how to build a kite. I know there was an option for that day one of the story, but this gives you a different way and different materials that you could use to build a kite of your own, and it has a science theme behind it. If you click here, a lot of this story was about following directions. So in social studies, we've talked about using a map. And on a map, remember, we talked about what a compass rose was. It is almost something that looks like a T with arrows at the end. So if I go boop and then boop, and it has arrows at the end of it. And remember, we said never eat slimy worms. So north, south, never, N, north, E is eat for east, S is south for slimy, and W is west for worms. Never eat slimy worms. So there is a fun chart that you get to fill out about yourself. Or you could choose to click here and it'll take you to a writing prompt to tell whether you think Gloria is a good friend or not. And you need to remember to use text evidence when answering that question. So just remember, boys and girls, those are all optional activities. I hope you have a great day. We love you so much and we hope to see you very soon. Bye, boys and girls.